It's a perfect situation to make musical sounds.
I've cut a load of 2.5-inch strips, more than enough to go around the outside of my quilt. There's 5 strips in total, and you can sew them together. Let me just sort it out. You can sew them together just straight on, but I prefer to actually do them at an angle. So I've cut my salvages off, and you just lay the bottom piece. These are 2.5-inch strips. Lay the bottom piece straight across and lie the next piece on top of it. Put it under your needle and just hold it there. Change glasses, because yes, I'm old, I need reading glasses now to see better. Make sure it's lined up. Drop the needle, and you need to go diagonal if you want to draw a line diagonally, but it's only a couple of inches width and it's not starting off too well. So let's move it in a touch. Still not starting off well. This is really annoying. Doesn't normally happen, but when you're on camera, it does. Sorted. Try this one again. I've got it how I said. Right side to right side. Computer making funny noises. And then this piece that was the top one, I fold it, lay it down straight across, and get another piece and lay that on it. Now this is chain piecing if you like. Okay, sort it out where it needs to go on that end. A few anchoring stitches. Now I put my finger, normally use my other hand, but so you can see I put my finger where the corner is, so that I can aim for that. Same again with this piece. Light on, down, straight across. Next one, right sides together and turn it. Because I don't pen, you can get it moving on you sometimes. Hold the corner. Don't press it down. You're just basically using your finger to point out where the corner is. And I'll carry on stitching these together and bring it back and show you what's next. nip them all apart. Take off that little bit that I started with. Now on the last one I did, you can see here the layout, very nice. What you want to do now is on all your joints, just trim them up so they're about 1/4 of an inch away from your stitch line. Doesn't have to be exact, just getting trim. Careful you don't cut the strips themselves. Now take it to your iron and press your seams open, and then press them wrong sides together all the way along the length. Right, this is the back of my quilt. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I've got another cold. Now, I have all my binding that I have pressed with the seams open and then pressed the wrong sides together, and I have it all dropped on the floor by the side of me. Now the raw edges of your binding, they need to go next to your raw edge of your quilt. So I'm going to start fairly low down. I've got a clip here. I clip it roughly, that's going to be roughly where I join. So that's clipped there. And then what I do is line up here, put it under. I have a matching thread in my bobbin and in the thread. It's a navy that matches this, because it doesn't matter the line that you'll get on the front, because you'll be taking the binding over. I've got the quilt suspended to a certain extent. I'm not actually quilting it, so it doesn't really matter. But you need to lay it down so that all the raw edges are together. Drop your needle. You can back if you want. I probably will. No, I won't, because I'll be going over it anyway. And then just start. Don't stretch it, but just make sure it's nice and firm, and set it on. About 1/4 of an inch. And when you get about 1/4 of an inch, if you want to, you can mark it. If not, you can wing it like I do. Another stitch. And then when my needle's down, I just lift the presser foot slightly, turn my work so I go off in the corner. Take the work out. You can do this without taking your work out, but I find it a bit awkward, so I take it out. Now I need to rotate me quilt that I have suspended up here, but I'll just show you first here before I do that is get your long bit and then take it directly up, so you've got a nice diagonal there. I hope this makes it out. And then fold it down so you've got all your raw edges there. And since I've got this fairly nice sorted, I'm going to clip it while I turn my quilt. So that's it. Right, I've turned it as much as I can at the moment. There's my tail. Sorry about that. And basically start at the end, drop your needle. You can stitch in place or back tack, whichever you want. That's it. And it doesn't need suspending at first. It's when you get halfway through it. But this is really awkward to do with a camera by your side. So, same again. You can go faster, you can even go a little bit slower. You go at the speed that you find comfortable. So I'm going to go all the way around until I'm joining the binding together. Gone all the way around and met up with my end. So if you lay your end down to find out where you would cut it so you can piece it together diagonally, I have some of the strip left. That's the bit that you started on. Lay the 2.5 inch strip out on top of it. Lay your ending bit on top of that, and then you can see exactly where you want to cut it, which is there. I don't normally use pins, but pins will be very helpful for the next step. There are my pins. Now before you go and stitch it, you want to do a pretend stitch on this. So open out your binding, both the start and the end. My hands are a little dry, so I've put some hand cream on. So open them out, and then you want to put them together like you were doing when you were sewing them together. put those corners together, and I always put a clip in there because it will hold it nicely. It's a little on the fiddly side, but it means that when it's stitched down you can't tell which is the bit that was done prior to sewing together, and then just pin that bit, take this over, pin this bit, roughly where you're going to stitch. Then you'll be able to take that off and look, and you'll be able to see it will go right. If you've not pinned it correctly, it'll twist on you. That's why you pin it first. One thing that could help you, why have I done that, is the quilt itself. Pull it together a bit. You could use a clip or a pin. I prefer to put a pin in it, and it just brings it together a bit so you can get this under you. Same with your foot, and move that out of the way. For a lap quilt it's awkward. I have done an 8-foot square quilt. Find the pins, that's where they are. I'll take that first one out. So let's start it off because it's going to be a bit on the awkward side. So start it off. This is another reason why I love the fact that I've got a knee lift, because I can use that. I'll take both the pins out because they weren't exactly where they needed. Take it over, and with a knee lift you can lift, and you've got 2 hands to fit it under. Anchoring stitches, same as you did on the binding at first. It looks fiddly because it is. That's half of it done. Sorry if my hand's in the way. And that takes it all the way to the end. Off. And before you cut your binding, do it again and find out, are you right? Yes, it will lie down. So we can cut that off, same as we did when we were making the binding. About 1/4 of an inch. In fact, I've done a bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch there, never mind. And that pin I put in, take that out, because it's done its job. And get the seam and see if you can open it out, which I always find difficult. Opening out seams. There we are. Fold it in half, and it should fit exactly on there. And there it is. Bit ski-whiff, but never mind. Put it under your foot and you can back tack. And stitch all the way down to where you started. There we are. Now I'll show you what comes next. Right, now this is the front side of my quilt. To help stop it draping and that, I've folded it up slightly, because if it drapes it'll pull it. And a lot of people seem to go around and pin all of the binding on. I can't be bothered doing that. But what I do is the corners. Now I also just take off the corner bit because that's extra bulk. I also don't do it until I get to it. But there, don't know if you can make it out in this fabric. Possibly a bit on the dark side, but I will. Just a second. I have just changed my battery because it went on me now. I'm going to slide my fabric in, put my presser foot down just to hold it, and I want to take my needle all the way over to the edge. That will do it nice. Now I don't bother backing, locking my stitches in, whatever, because I know I'll go all the way around the quilt and come back here and do it then. I need my seam ripper because I use that. And just go down far as you can do. When you gain so close to it, actually I'm doing it at the machine, the edge that I am stitching down, that's the edge that I make sure goes completely flat. Then I put my seam ripper in, bring it up, and that gets me close to a mitered corner, so I just fiddle around with it until I do get a mitered corner. And there it is. So I hold it with my fingers, needle down and turn your quilt. I will turn it so far, take a few stitches And now it's caught. And we just carry on as I did at first. So I'll take that out. I'll finish sewing the binding on and I'll show you when it's done. It's got dark in here, so I've moved this. Now I've finished sewing on the sewing machine. I've moved it under the light I've got over my long arm. And yes, there's things here because I'm in the middle of making some more clothes. But that is the binding. And if I can, let's see if yes, there's a seam. There's a seam there. I don't know if that's where I joined it at the end. I think it might be. Or where I joined them to start off. Yes. Yeah. There's the two seams, because one was obviously when I was stitching them together, and the other one is from when I joined it to finish it off. So that's the start and finish, and you can't tell even on both of them. But this is the back. Yes, I quilted it in just plain white. I didn't mind if it shows on the back, it shows the quilting up, and white on the front. And now the lap quilt is actually now ready to be used. So thank you. Bye.
It's a perfect